and there is absolutely no way they were expecting us. Expel the Interlopers. Everything you have goes away. All the toxic stuff with one measly power we get to keep. If they have no other forms of removal, we are going to steal this in the night like Swiper off Dora the Explorer, and we take it. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, civilians across the multiverse, welcome back to another episode with Man, and today we've got a juicer for you. But before we get into the deck, make sure to leave a like. The button looks just like that, and it helps out the channel tremendously. I greatly appreciate it. But let's go ahead and dive right in here. We have the Interloper Toxic. Expel the Interlopers. I absolutely love this card. So, I mean, if you have like a creature type of deck, and you need to get some mass removal, but you don't want to remove your own stuff, this is exactly what we got for you. Expel the Interlopers, choose a number between 1, 0, and 10, and then just destroy all creatures with power greater than or equal to the chosen number. Now, this is great. Why is this great? Because, of course, all of our stuff is pretty much just got one power. We do have Skrelv's Hive. This is one of my favorite cards ever. It does give you lifelink as soon as they have 3 or more poison counters, so that is absolutely wonderful. We're just going to be churning out a bunch of stuff, but look what we got here. Pretty straightforward deck. Excuse me, got the Crawling Chorus, a 1/1. Comes back when it dies. Pretty cool as a token, but you know, Skrelv. Of course, you have the Defector Mite. You could probably run 3. Being the legendary, I'm going to run with 2, but you could probably go with 3. Lay down the arms because we do have a bunch of planes. We got the Mirrex tokens to kind of create everything. And we got the Annex Sentry, 1/4, just a little bit more removal. Ossification. So we actually have quite a bit of removal. With the Sentry, Ossification, Lay Down the Arms, and Expel the Interloper, so there's plenty of removal. I think the hardest time we're going to have is against like a lot of sweeper heavy decks, but that's neither here nor there. The only thing we have is Mondrak, Glory, Dominus, which is just beautiful. We're going to be able to create double the amount of tokens, which of course is beautiful with the charge of the Mite. Now this card also can act as removal as well. I think this card is actually pretty gosh darn underrated. Again, is this like a super meta breaker type of deck? No, not really, but it is, I think, playable. It is sneakily playable, especially with this card. You can just create 2 1/1s at their end step. They're not really prepared for it, especially if they swing in, they tap out. They're not really prepared for 2 more counters that onto their face. And then it can just act as removal as well, because you do tend to go pretty wide on this deck here. So, of course, the Jawbone Duelist, Double Strike, Toxic 1. And as long as they have 1 power, you're in the club. With the Expel the Interlopers, we can sacrifice 2 other artifacts or creatures and put an indestructible counter on Mondrak. So we can even use that for Expel the Interlopers, as this is the only thing that is not a 1 power creature. So that's pretty much it. I mean, pretty straightforward. We want to go as wide as possible. We're going to want to just get our opponent to get infected to death, and then we go for Expel the Interlopers if things get sweaty. But if they don't, we got Mondrak. It's going to be great. I have a really, really good feeling about this. Consider joining the channel. It would really help me out as a content creator. I greatly appreciate it. And get ready to subscribe if you have not already. Without further ado, let's get ready to vanquish some enemies. Dark 90, how we doing here? All right, we're gonna go keep this. Looks pretty good to me. We are a fast, toxic deck, so let's try and be as toxic as possible. Let's go and get the Skrelv going. Skrelv, oftentimes I do use as like an attacker. Sometimes it is kind of better off as like that, you know, de facto target removal hatred. But a lot of times, I'm just taking Skrelv and I'm swinging in. I don't really care. If we got something for the Jawbone Duelist, that's okay. I think the upside of just swinging with Skrelv, excuse me, and just doing as much toxicity as possible seems to be the good thing to do. So that kind of is unfortunate. I mean, the Jawbone Duelist, we can kind of get around one of these little tokens here, but I think what we're going to do is kind of awkward because nothing feels that right. Let's drop the Crawling Chorus. I think we're going to end up just doing this on the Jawbone Duelist just to make it white so we can get through with a, I mean, pretty nasty here, especially with Double Strike here. We do get up to 5 poison counters because the Double Strike, and it has Toxic 2. Or 2 instances of Toxic 1, I believe, technically. I wonder if there would actually be like a difference of that, because Skrelv gives it Toxic 1, so you know what I'm trying to say. So, Lorn of the Third Path, unfortunately, is going to take away our Skrelvy here, so not great. Lorn of the Third Path is actually really, really good. I don't see it a whole lot on the ladder, but this is also another awkward turn, because we have Lay Down the Arms, or we could go for a Mirrex token. This is really, we can't have both, though, so I think it is probably better off just to kind of do this and just swing on in. The Crawling Chorus does replace itself, and again, I think we're just going to go ahead and do it. I don't really want to use Eiganjo either, so like I said, we're just like extraordinarily awkward right now. Yeah, we could do it, but the Crawling Chorus replaces itself. I guess not. I guess not. Maybe we should have done it, considering it's our only play, and then if they go for, like, Brotherhood, the Brotherhood Sweeper card, then we don't have anything, rather than having it itself, so well, Temporary Lockdown is going to be a kind of a moot point here. Okay. Nothing doing here, but we still can go for a Mirrex, so this is looking pretty gosh darn bad. Not gonna lie, I'm not gonna scoop though. Not yet, not yet. Geological Appraiser, okie dokie. Still can generate, this is what I love about the Mirrex, that we can still generate tokens, so there's not really, it's not all lost, not yet. So Ambitious Farmhand, let's see how ambitious they can be. Hopefully we can draw into something here, because honestly we're looking really, really rough. So the Eiganjo is also a little bit awkward, but as long as there's a Mite, there's a way. Alright, let's go for the Mirrex token here. Yep. Okay, there we go, exactly. We've got the Expel the Interlopers, which I'm not going to use that just yet. Obviously, we want to build up our board, and then we want to use it for the Mirrex. Alright, we're just going to have to let them do their thing. Yeah, down to... yeah, it's not that bad, though. I mean, it's not that bad. We obviously don't care about their actual life. We just care about their toxic counters, or poison count, whatever. You know what I mean. But Geological Appraiser is going to go off again, and as long as they don't have removal, you know, as long as they don't have removal, we're looking okay. The only thing that I don't like about these farmhands is obviously them having 1 power is really, really annoying, because if we go for Expel the Interlopers, we don't get to do our little trick, and that's not great. Okay. How do we get around this? Well, oh, that was actually close. I almost ended the turn without making another little token, and that would have been like the biggest brain. Okay, so we got another Expel the Interlopers. Okay, not terrible. I think we're still going to keep up with it. I want them to take the Ambitious Farmhand and use the Coven ability and transform, because I really want them to get up into a 2 power. So they go for the Restless Bivouac. Not the end of the world, though. If they put the +1/+1 counter on the Farmhand, which I assume they're going to do, because they want to transform these things, actually leave back the Appraiser. Why? Why do they leave back the Appraiser? Are they scared of... I mean, I guess they're probably scared of a Wandering Emperor, I suppose. And, yeah, I think we're going to do this instead of go for the Eiganjo. 1 mana off from being able to go for Eiganjo. That Restless Bivouac is kind of annoying. But I think at this point, we could probably just go for Expel the Interlopers. Yeah, let's just do this. We're going to have to put some damage on the board at some point. So let's go ahead and choose 2, because we want to keep everything else. And that Ambitious Farmhand is tapped out anyway. So unless they've got some form of removal, we do have 3 poison counters. So I'm not going to lie. I don't want to get my hopes up too high, because honestly, I don't think we were supposed to win this. Get lost. Okay. Okay, we still do 2. And we get these map tokens, so I'm going to use these right away. Let's go ahead and fix up our draws. I want to get all the land out of our way immediately. So Ossification... Ossification's actually... do I want that? Do I want to get rid of the Farmhand? Now that they know that we're running Expel the Interlopers, I guess that might be okay, but I'm just going to go for the map token now that we have it. But I'm just trying to think out... oh, another Ossification. We could use it to get rid of the Ambitious Farmhand to keep it back to block. But we also have the Sentry, too. I think I'm going to put it away. I'm going to put it away. We do have the Sentry for removal, and we have the Expel the Interlopers for anything else other than the Farmhand. So... I think... ooh, Sunfall. Okay, well, Sunfall actually, not the end of the world again. The Sentry can take care of the token. So we're still just hanging in there somehow. We're still just, like, being toxic. Just persistently just taking care of you. Sunfall, obviously, I've said this before on the channel. I think Sunfall is the worst designed card in Arena right now. I guess I don't... I mean, I do play Explorer and Historic, but I'm, you know... my opinion there is weighs a little bit less. I do think in Standard and Alchemy, those power levels, I think Sunfall is ridiculous. But it's okay. We're still going to overcome the obstacles. They still have the Restless Bivouac. I think they actually have 2 here. So what's the play? We bounce. If they go for Restless Bivouac, the Sentry actually bounces with it. I think that's what they would do. And then we can also go for Expel the Interlopers or the Sentry. But if we go for Sentry... and then we can go for Mirrex to generate more stuff. I am a little bit nervous about a Wandering Emperor. But we don't bump the mic there. Check. We're good. We are all good. We are frazzled, but we're breaking, but we're not broken. Let's go ahead and attack. I think we're just going to have to attack with both. If they've got the Emperor, maybe we swing with this. Maybe we should have swung with both. I don't know. The only problem is they have 2 bivouacs here. So if I want to do this, because then we can just go for the Sentry, take care of one of them. I don't really want to go for Expel the Interlopers. Maybe we should have attacked with both. But then they would have double bivouacked and then double blocked the Sentry. So, like... But then we get another poison counter, so maybe that was a little bit bad. Okay, either way, we'll see. We'll see. Either way, the plan still remains the same. We're gonna go for this Mirrex token. Okay.
We must protect the people.
So Wandering Emperor comes out, more land. They only have one more card in their hand, so they only have one more possible thing. But they do have this hidden volcano, and that is pretty brutal. Hopefully they don't have like a sweeper or the Brotherhood. Or the Brotherhood card doesn't matter because we have 4 toughness, so I don't know why I was thinking that. Geological Appraiser. Okay. Discover 3. Oh, that's not a big deal. That is not a big deal. Temporary Lockdown does not hit any of our cards. And we have the Mirrex token at the end step, so we're actually good. That actually does not lock us down whatsoever, and that actually only hit their own creatures, so...
Keep watch for intruders.
Hold on. If this is all they have, I think we're going to sneak this. No way. We're going to go for the Mirrex token, and they only have 7... They have 7 counters, and they only need 3 more to win. So, to lose. Let's go for Expel the Interlopers. We're going to expel everything on their board, and there is absolutely no way they were expecting us. Expel the Interlopers. Everything you have goes away. All the toxic stuff with 1 measly power, we get to keep. If they have no other forms of removal, we are going to steal this in the night like Swiper off Dora the Explorer, and we take it. Let's go. All right, I got the Mite Overseer. I mean, I'm a little undecided on the Mite Overseer. I think it is mostly a gimmicky card, but it does fit the flavor of our deck. So let's see if we can get the Mite Overseer out and see if it'll do something here. All right. So we got what, mono red, yeah, Phoenix Chickens, either mono red, or sometimes they throw in a little bit of Boros action, but nevertheless, we do got it. So they got the Charge of the Mites. Again, I do feel like because we are not in like Mythic, I feel like because now that we have like the season reset, it's in the new year. It's 2024. Feels weird to say, but we are. It's a new year. It's a new man. We got the Charge of the Mites. We got the Mite Overseer. We're gonna run some gimmicky stuff while we're still lower on the the ranked ladder in icky platinum, but it's fine. So we got the Feldon, and let's see if we want to race. Now, keep in mind, Mono Red, we have 20 life, but you only need 10 poison counters to lose, so you have to be careful about that. Let's go for the Lay Down the Arms, and then let's go for the Skrelv's Hive. I think Skrelv's Hive is a little bit better, obviously, than going for the Charge of the Mites. I don't really want to deal damage to the gosh darn Feldon, so let's see. Okay, we got the Mites, Skrelv's Nest, and we got the Mite Overseer. We got Charge of the Mites in case we don't draw another land. Ooh, Urva's Forge. Okay, that is actually... I think that's not that bad. I mean, it's kind of slow against us, and we are going to be able to have lifelink on all these stuff. So this actually comes out pretty good. So, Mono Red, typically a lot of times they run like Godric or Squee. I think Urva's Forge is good in a lot of other matchups. It's a niche card. I do like the Forge. I have built decks around it. I do like it a lot. Fortunately for us, I would rather see this because we are a creature deck. If it was like a control deck, it'd be a little harder to deal with because they don't really have like on-site artifact removal. So here comes the Squee. I'm hoping that they just attack with everything because they're mono red, and that's exactly what mono red does. They just swing in and attack with everything. We do go down to 9, but look at this. It's actually not that bad. With Skrelv's Hive, we actually have a lifelink. With Charge of the Mites, I'm not going to do any damage to them. I'm going to go for Skrelv's Hive. And we have the Mite Overseer. Okay, this is actually really cool. Let's just go for the Mite Overseer. Well, let's see. Gosh, I think we're just going to go for Ossification and just kind of take care of the Squee. I know that we're leaving a lot of lifelink off the table this way, but this way we have 12, and I don't know. The Mite Overseer, I do feel kind of bad that I don't give it its time to shine. It does give everything +1/+0, at least 3 of these, because technically the Chorus is not a token. If the Chorus did have the token out, it would probably be a little easier to go for the Overseer. But I think there's a decent chance if we do that. I don't know. Maybe I should just go on for the Overseer for the content's sake, but I feel a little bit like a fraud. But either way, next turn we are going to drop the Overseer, and then that should be game lights out. If they don't have... I don't think they can really win this way. Oh, and we don't even get to drop the Overseer. Now I feel really bad. Blade Gadini. How are we doing here? This looks good to me. Looks A+ grand old time to me. Let's just drop the Crawling Chorus. We're looking good here. That's what we're going against. Spyglass Siren. So as long as it's not mono red, I welcome it. Not again. Mono red is a part of the format. You can't be mad that you play against it. It's here to stay. I understand why people play it if you want to play it, and it's a good deck. So I understand that. It's just refreshing to not play against it sometimes. So we gotta go against a little map token here. Let's see what we got. Another Spyglass Siren. So let's see if this is gonna be like, what is this gonna be like, mono blue, or is this more of like a side? I see sometimes like Simic artifacts, stuff like that. Well, nevertheless, let's go for the Skrelv's Hive, and obviously not going to attack in here with my little crawling course. I know that it gets replaced, but the 2/2 is just gonna put us in our place. So another Siren, okay. Let's see if they're gonna do another map trick. Map onto the Siren, and we get. I think this is looking like mono blue, which is a little bit cool. I mean, I do welcome the different kind of decks that we play here. So now I'm just kind of thinking here. Honestly, unfortunately, I kind of wish it was a land, just that we could kind of swing in after going for like the Annex Sentry. So I'm just trying to think of what I want to do here. I think we can just drop another Hive. I mean, if they're not going to really put the Jets on us, we are going to go for Lay Down the Arms just to maintain mana efficiency, because we did have Jawbone Duelist and the Sentry with the Mirrex next turn, so we definitely want to be as efficient as possible. So let's just get rid of the Siren. Got 2 Skrelv's Hive. I don't really... This is actually really good for us. The Skrelv's Hive, I don't mind taking the damage, just because, I mean, they're not really outspeeding us here. The Skrelv's Hive is pretty gosh darn nice, especially in that last match. We saw that mono red. You know, with the lifelink, it can help. Like, if you're on the draw versus mono red with the Skrelv's Hive, sometimes that lifelink doesn't even come into fruition. You just get obliterated really quick. So, missing a land drop, of course, nice. We do have the Expel the Interlopers, which of course is like the key part of the deck. So I'm just trying to think here. I would like to see another Mite Overseer. I do feel so bad that we didn't drop it. I actually didn't even do the math. I mean, we would have got to drop it, but they didn't get to see it, so it was less satisfying. And I've always wanted to build a Mite Overseer kind of thing there, but unfortunately we didn't. I'm gonna stop reveling up. We gotta be positive. We gotta be positive. It's no choice but to cry over spilt milk. We're gonna see that Mite Overseer. I feel it. I feel it. And even if we don't, we get to Expel the Interlopers, which I feel like this card is absolutely wonderful. I don't see Expel the Interlopers like pretty much in any deck. Alright, they're going to swing in, which makes a lot of sense considering this only has 1 toughness, whereas the Siren can actually correctly block against something. But we have so many cards that I think we're actually okay to start swinging in, especially with an Annex Sentry. So, a negate, go for the throat, that's fine. There is a chance that they actually are going to really regret that. And because we get 2 every single turn, they're going to really regret this as well. So I'm going to go for the Annex Sentry, get rid of the Siren. And now look at this. Now we got a wide open lane. I'm actually going to get rid of the Malcolm as well. This is a sorcery, so we might as well do this now. Swing on in, and now for the next turn, Skrelv's Hive is going to give our stuff lifelink, and they're in absolutely no position to sweep the board. So there we go. Restless Reef. So we do know that we're playing Dimir. Well, we knew that with the go for the throw, but now that they had the Mirrex, and I was thinking, what the heck? And they know that poison time. Merc, how you doing here? All right, we got 2 Duelists and 2 Hives. I wish I had a 1-drop. That's okay. It's still a good enough hand that we're going to keep this. Mowing right along here. Let's see what we're going against. This is going to be Gruul. Or Dino. Yeah, it's going to be Dinos. Okay, so we got the... This is actually not that big of a deal. Because... Let's go for... Yeah, I guess Skrelv's Hive's fine. I would drop the Duelist, but I don't really want to block. Plus, they're not going to... Yeah, it's whatever. But, I mean, again, we know what we're going to do with this deck. We already know what we're looking to do is go for the Expel the Interlopers. This is actually a really good matchup for us. We do need a lot of land, and unfortunately we don't get one there, so we got the Crawling Forest. I could go for the Sentry, but the problem is I don't really want to do that. I really... The way we win this match, we're going to go super wide, and then we're going to go for Expel the Interlopers, and then we swipe all their huge dinos. They think they're so cool, big and bad. We're going to Expel the Interlopers and keep all of our little 1/1s. Or 1/4, if you're in an Annex Sentry. And then we're just going to swing on it. It's going to be great. I can already see how this match is going to go. But we do have to get into 2 more lands, so it is a little scary. Here comes the Trumpeting Carnosaur, so I'm a little bit nervous here. Alright, so Trumpeting Carnosaur. Brotherhood's End. Oh, are they going to... Well, we get the Crawling Scoring back. We get the Crawling Chorus back. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Okay, so they go for the artifacts, so they still get the kill, because they want to keep their paleontologist. So we do get 1 more land, which is nice. That's interesting, though. Because now we at least can block with the chorus. But this thing has trample, too, so that's really brutal. Let's just go for double Jawbone Duelist, and you can already tell what we're looking for. If we can get just 1 more land off the top, we're going to go for Expel the Interlopers. Come on. Play down your biggest thing, Bonehorde Dracosaur. Well, I don't want to say we don't care. I mean, as long as we get into Expel the Interlopers, down to 10. This is kind of, I mean, if we can just get those fingers crossed. Fingers crossed, and that is not going to be it. Okay, we're just not dead. Charge of the Mites is removal. Obviously, we don't have to use it to play Mites, we can use it to deal damage, which is why I like this card so much. I'd much rather it be a Plains, but that's okay. Charge of the Mites, we're going to use this now just because I don't want you to get the damage. I don't want you to get the value of the Dracosaur. So I guess they can't block with the Stomper, so I think we are going to swing in here. Let's swing in with the Mites as well. They can't block, so then we'll keep the Chorus for the Stomper. And yeah, looking not so good here. We're going to keep the Chorus to block the Stomper if they play a land, which they might not. Gosh darn it. Gosh darn it all. Okay, got the Hammer Skull. Still not over. We're still going to be left with, well, yeah, because the Skrelv's Hive, so I guess I kind of forgot that they deal damage, but can't get into the Interlopers, but that was a misplay on my part. All right, there, Maja 16777-216. How you doing here? Okay, that sounds like a one of those like default like a Hotmail from like way back in the day where like you just put MGA at hotmail.com or Gmail or whatever. It says here's one of the suggestions, and it just gives you some crazy number. Either way, how you doing here? All right, a little bit on the slower end. I am nervous here if they have the Virtue of Loyalty. I'm gonna swing in. I am a little nervous. There it is. Gosh darn it, that's unfortunate. The only nice thing we do get our creature back, Defector. Getting a little 1/1 going on there, so it is what it is. Kind of unfortunate, but it's okay. We still have a little Mite, and as long as we have a Mighty Mite, we have a way. So we got the Annex Sentry and the Charge of the Mite if need be. So the wedding announcement's pretty nice. I mean, also token kind of decks, we don't really mind because the Annex Sentry just kind of takes care of them. Just trying to think of what I want to do here. I think getting down 2 Mites, they're going to get another 1/1 anyway. So I think it's close, but I think we're going to go ahead and just remove this thing. Just get some poison counters on them. Again, we can go for Charge of the Mites, but I might want to use Charge of the Mites for removal, so we don't really know just yet. Hopefully we don't get too flooded here, because this is an aggro deck, so definitely would like something else. And now I'm a little bit nervous about a Wandering Emperor, obviously, but Skrelv is pretty nice. I would prefer to see you on turn 1, Skrelvy boy, but better late than never. All right, I'm going to go and swing with the Annex Sentry. Why am I not swinging in with the Mites? That's a good question. I think if they have a Wandering Emperor, that way they can put a +1/+1 counter on it, and I kind of don't love that. But they do absolutely nothing on turn 4, which is very, very surprising. I guess we would have bounced with the Sentry if they went for a token. I was really expecting a Wandering Emperor there, but that is also... No, I'm not complaining, don't get me wrong. So I got Charge of the Mites. We can deal 3 damage to something if they play something super scary. Virtue of Loyalty, that is pretty slow. I mean, they do get a wedding announcement, though. So I'm just trying to think here. I'm okay with them swinging. It's not the end of the world. Obviously, it's going to come in untapped and then get a +1/+1 counter. I'm just trying to think. Do I want to go for Charge of the Mites? Very, very awkward spot here. I think I can go for a kill. We do have Skrelv to kind of help us out here as well. I think we'll go ahead and go a little bit wide. We do have an Ossification. I think we're just going to go for the Ossification right away. And we do have a Eiganjo to kind of take care of the other tokens. So that's not that big of a deal. Yeah, I think we can kind of do this. Eiganjo is pretty much our only play. I could go for Skrelv, pay the life. But it's kind of it's the same difference, really, rather, right? Yep, so let's go ahead and just swing on in. Hopefully we don't see a board wipe. But if they're playing tokens, most likely they don't have a board wipe. So let's go for the Eiganjo. It's essentially our only play. So let's go ahead and kill you. And Skrelv's being a legendary, so it actually costs 1 less, which doesn't really matter right this second. But taking up to 6 and 6 poison counters is nothing to sneeze at. So if they can't clear the board, we might be looking okay. All right, they don't play anything again. We gotta lay down the arms. They have to have something. They didn't play anything turn 4. That was kind of weird. But I'm gonna go for Skrelv. And I guess we'll put it on the Sentry right now. Yeah, we'll call it white. Just before they go for the Wandering Emperor here. So they can't target the Wandering Emperor here. Elspeth's Smite, that's okay. But this is actually... Is that it? With the Skrelv, we actually get lethal. That's it. Yama, how we doing here? Oh, we got the Mite Overseer. Let's see if we can get into some Mite Overseer action. Always like that card. I just wish it wasn't so overshadowed, but I love the Mite Overseer. Let's go ahead and play our Mighty Mite, the Phyrexian Mite Skrelv, and see what we can do here. Got the Cooling Course, got the Late on the Arms, Ossification. I think we're looking pretty good, unless we're playing against Control. This deck does not do very good versus like control. If they're just packing like a bunch of Sunfall, a bunch of Depopulate, it is very, very difficult. So we're gonna find a way, as we always do. Got Expel the Interlopers, which may be a dead card in the deck, but let's go ahead and make use of this map token. I am kind of after some land here, so we'll get another land. That's nice. Yeah, like I said, I already know we're gonna have a lot of trouble. When I designed this deck, I'm like, if we don't get into like it's very hard to face like Farewells or Sunfall mostly. Sunfall's crazy, but hey, we're looking pretty good. No Virtue of Loyalty. The white Virtue of Loyalty is pretty brutal. So they're playing blue. I'm gonna make a bet. Hopefully they're not playing Depopulate. They're still one turn off from being able to play it. I don't want to get countered, so we might as well just go for Charge of the Mites now. Get this resolved. Most decks do not play Depopulate. Most don't. Most play Sunfall because it's far better. Because they get the token and it's Exile, not Destroy. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just do that. Okay, it ended up playing pretty well for us. So we do have the Mite Overseer. Let's go for it. We get a little bit extra damage this way, and plus, okay, so no, okay, we're looking good. Hopefully nothing on the back end, but we do get our little mites buffed up here. First strike, Elspeth's Smite is going to be unfortunate because we get the Exile ability, and we don't get that 1/1 on the back end, so it really hurts the Mite Overseer as well. But we do have 3 poison counters on them, and Mite Overseer kind of acts like a Mirrex token type of thing. Oh, they are, wow, okay, so they are running Depopulate. Okay. I mean, I don't want to say people, I don't want to sound like that shocked. People still do run it. It's just like, it's a lot less common, I believe. So let's go ahead and give them a Skrelv's Hive. If they don't have Farewell, Skrelv's Hive does give them a little bit of a problem. It's kind of like the same thing as Mirrex. It just gives you a little annoying little mite to deal with every single turn. So another land, which is kind of unfortunate. Let's go ahead and use this map token. Hopefully they don't have any sort of spot removal so that we can kind of get into something. Oh, another Skrelv's Hive. Okay. I think that's probably our best bet. Going in for Skrelv's Hive and just generating tokens after tokens. They can't, again, unless they have Farewell, they can Depopulate, they can, you know, even Sunfall. But if we have Lay Down the Arms and Ossification, Expel the Interlopers, we can kind of just keep generating these little mites until they cry uncle. Sunset Revelry is pretty brutal. Don't really love that. Even if we dig into I think we're going to do this just so we can swing in with the Mite and keep it. Yeah, I definitely don't want to go for Expel the Interlopers. I guess, yeah, we might as well just go for Ossification. I am going to feel pretty dumb if they do play down like Wandering Emperor or something like that. But I don't think we can just afford to just kind of sit here and do nothing. We're the aggro deck, so we got to just make sure that we can do as much as possible. Plus, it's nice because they do have the field there, and if they kill the land, it's a token. We don't care. The Ossification still gets rid of it. And double Skrelv's Hive, I think I'm looking pretty good. As long as they don't have like a Farewell. If they have Depopulate, they got Sunfall, we can take care of all that. Just not. Oh no. Oh no, brutal. Oh man, but farewell indeed, my friend. Gosh darn it. Okay, well, we still have the Mondrak with the Skrelv's Hive would have been super fun. Unfortunately, Farewell is gonna kind of put a damper on our day here, but we're not done yet. What I love about that too is Expel the Interlopers. We can give Mondrak Indestructible, which would have been pretty cool. But yeah, like I said, if they had just Sunfall, if they don't run Farewell, those Skrelv's Hive are going to be so annoying. Really unfortunate, but again, it's not over. It's not over. Another land, pretty gross. But it's okay. Let's go ahead and swing in, just see what we can do here. Fingers crossed for no Emperor, but they haven't gone for Emperor yet. Let's just go and play you. Still got the Expel the Interlopers, which unfortunately is not really the most relevant card in this matchup. But if we can get some more Skrelv's Hive or a Mirrex, well, not even really a Mirrex because they do have the Field of Destruction. So, what's our win condition here? I think it's probably... Okay, well, Skrelv's Hive. That's probably, like, one of the best things we can have. Swing on in. We can actually just use Mondrak's ability. So, that's kind of nice. Let's go for Skrelv's Hive. Please, no negate. Alright, that's cool. Because we can eat up the Make Disappear. Can't do anything else, though. Memory Deluge. So, here it is. Here's the big old Deluge. They're going to dig deep into that deck. And hopefully, they don't go for another Farewell. Because we do have Skrelv's Hive. If they just go for Depopulate, we're good there. Mondrak can give itself Indestructible. And eventually. And, you know, Sunfall, we can kind of battle with the Hive. We just can't survive another Farewell. Oh, gosh, please don't do it. They do have a lot of cards in their hand as well, so it's not looking great, but we're going to fight it. We are going to fight it as much as we can. Oh, there's the Farewell. Yeah, I think... Unless we draw into something else here, I think another land. I think it's pretty safe. We're going to go ahead and just concede, but GG's. NTE, how you doing here? So we got double Mirrex tokens, which absolutely love that. I think we're gonna go for the crawling course, and I think death by Mirrex token is a very, very real thing versus control decks. So I do like seeing a Mirrex. I think I'd probably run like 6 or 8 of them if I could, hypothetically, in the deck. So let's go ahead and do that. No 2-drop, which is unfortunate, but we are on the play, so hopefully we can still be fast enough to kind of mitigate that. So let's see what they got here. Ooh, is this going Gary? Looking like it. Okay. Gix's command, I definitely do not like the look of Gix's command. I think, what do I want to do? I think let's go ahead and swing in here. I know we could go for an Annex Sentry, but if they have like Virtue of Loyalty, we kind of are in the woods here. So let's go in for this, and then we can go for Charge of the Mites to kind of, I think I like that a little bit more than just slamming down the Sentry here. So there comes the Prowler. Yeah, I think at this point they kind of they're doing their thing. I think we're just gonna go, yeah, obviously we're just gonna go for Charge of the Mites. Go ahead and widen our board up here. We could, yeah, I think I like this a little bit more. And we're just gonna go in for the Annex Sentry. I think we're just gonna have to do it. Yeah, we kind of had that little like fancy play with the last turn. This is just the more obvious thing, and let's go ahead and just swing in. 4 toxic counters, so the plan is well underway. And we got to Expel the Interlopers. If they drop like a Sheldred or something. Old Rutstein. Okay, so old Rutsteins comes out to play. Haven't seen you in a while. And Deathcap Marionette, what is this? Oh my god. I have not seen these cards in a hot second. This is a new excellent card. Yeah, pretty straightforward. It's got Death Touch, and it does mill, so it's kind of cool. The only problem with it is it has 1 power, so I can't really go for Expel the Interlopers on these things. So it's kind of not really a good thing. I guess we're going to have to hit the Rutstein. Or do we have to, yeah, I guess so, because the 1/1 we can actually swing in. This way we can just kind of swing in. I know the NX Sentry, maybe we don't swing with the NX Sentry though, because it has Death Touch, and then I don't want to give them back another Prowler, and this way they have to like trade. So let's give them up to 6 poison counters, and then we still have a Mirrex token and an Expel the Interlopers. I'm assuming they're gonna run like Sheldred or something crazy, so the Expel the Interlopers will kind of help us out, and they only have 6 life, or I keep saying that wrong. They have 6 counters. So with the Mirrex token, that would make 4 creatures. So if they just play down a couple of big fat creatures, we just go for Expel the Interlopers, and we just sneak right on in, and that would be great. And there we go. Hey, a Vorinclex, that is fun. I was expecting like, you know, like a Sheldred or like a Glissa and like a Mosswood Dread Knight or something like that. But a Vorinclex is easy. They just chap out here, and that's going to be it. We go for the Mirrex. Boom. That is going to be 4 creatures. We only need 4 more counters. We even get a double Interloper, but yeah, let's go ahead and go for 2 and up. You're not in the 1 and under club, and that is going to be it. And that is going to be toxic lethal. GG's.